Hey, what's happening, my fearless networking friends? Todd Falcone here, and because I've been asking for comments and questions and subject matter, somebody asked me, Todd, does cold market prospecting work? So let's have a little chit chat about that, shall we? So first of all, I'll say this. Most of you probably don't know this, but I'm actually the result of a cold call. So that was many years ago. 31 years ago, roughly, but I was the result of a cold call. I was not a warm market person. I did not respond to an advertisement. I was a person that, the guy found in the white pages, saw me on a list of graduates, looked me up in the white pages and picked up the phone and cold called me. That's how I got involved in network marketing. So, plus I can also say this, I've done a lot of cold market prospecting over my years of being in network marketing, both as a distributor and even as a speaker or trainer. So the answer is yes, it does work. And if we look at what is cold market prospecting anyhow? Cold market prospecting is essentially anybody that you don't know or don't have a relationship with, and you're reaching out to them to prospect them for your business. And that could fall under any number of things. It could be leads, you buying leads and calling leads. You don't know them. They're people that have requested information about making money from home. That would be a cold market prospecting method. Is that the number one thing that I would do? Probably not, but I've definitely worked thousands to probably tens of thousands of leads, and I've recruited a lot of people working leads. What I teach in my recruiting professionals course, flat out works. You're picking up the phone, drive by a real estate sign, for example. Hey, John, Todd Falcone here, just drove by your listing, and I'm an entrepreneur. Obviously, if you're doing this listing, you're active here in the real estate community. I got a simple question. Do you keep your options open at all in terms of making money outside of what you're currently doing? That's a cold market call. I could send a message to somebody on LinkedIn and engage them in conversation and ask that pique interest question or something else. That's cold market prospecting. I could be messaging somebody on Facebook. I don't know them. They're my Facebook friend, but that's still a cold lead. So what I think a lot of people do, or people, it's a legitimate question. Does it work? Pretty much anything will work if you work it, right? So, but here's what happens. A lot of times people get caught up in their fears, and it's like several years ago. I don't remember what year it was. Probably in the early 2000s. Good friend of mine in network marketing. I'm not going to mention names on this, but he created this. He was known as the godfather of attraction marketing and network marketing. Like, he created a tool this attraction marketing tool where he put it out, and you would generate leads, and have people coming to you. But in essence, isn't that a cold market strategy as well? Like, pretty much anything outside of people that you know is cold market prospecting. Now, granted, these are people that are coming to you, filling out a form and requesting information, so at least they've flagged themselves and they're reaching out to you. Now, that's a great strategy. Anything you can do from a lead generation standpoint and understanding marketing and understanding how to bring people to you is a beautiful thing. And I do firmly believe that anybody who's going to be involved in network marketing and be here, that should be like mandatory. Understanding marketing, understanding how to write effective copy, and where to place these capture pages, if you will, or ads, if you will, to generate traffic where people are opting into a form and saying, hey, I want more information about what you're doing. Like, now, but here's, so that should be mandatory. But it's not something like you're brand new in network marketing. I'm going to start yesterday, and I'm going to show you how to put together a blog with a capture page, or a capture page without a blog, and where to run those ads and spend ad dollars or whatever. I mean, that's probably a couple steps down the road, but still super important. And what totally fascinates me, it boggles my mind. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's like, I don't know. like I'll put a post out, or I'll do like an episode, and I'll talk about like the importance of copywriting, and like you understanding like what is copywriting. Copywriting is the written, taking your words and putting them on paper or on a website or whatever it is, in an email, and putting them together in such a way where it causes people to go, "Ooh, wow, I want some of that," right? Versus, that's, that didn't capture my attention. Like, understanding how to write a powerful headline, for example, that captures our attention. That to me is super important. Yet I'll do a video on it, and I see the video views, and I'm like, they don't care? Like, what's up with that? So I think that, you definitely need to understand all aspects of marketing, networking and marketing. So if you're involved in the network marketing profession, which you probably are if you're watching me. So in answering the question, short answer is, does cold market prospecting work? Yeah, it does. There are many different levels of cold market prospecting, right? And again, just define what is a cold market lead, or what is cold market? Cold market's anybody you don't currently know. So for example, even going to a mixer or a meetup or something, and I'm there for the first time and I'm meeting you for the first time, we get to connect and meet, but if I'm there to meet people for my business, that's essentially cold market prospecting, isn't it? I didn't know you until just now. I met you, I put myself in that position to meet you, to be at that mixer. So, the question that came to me was not like, does cold market prospecting to leads work, or does cold market prospecting work? I've done probably far more cold prospecting than I have warm prospecting, because, and the thing is, we're also recreating or generating new warm market and building relationships as we go along. And, I met you today, you were a cold market the day before that. I met you, we get to know each other, whether I brought my business to you right then or not, or you're my neighbor friend up the street that I got to know. And now you're my friend, that's now considered warm market, but 3 months ago I didn't know you because I didn't live in the neighborhood. So that becomes a warm market person, right? So, and let me even clarify even further, does reaching out to people, I don't even know where I'm going. Does reaching out to people work? Yes, it does. Like, in fact, that's a lot of what we do. Like sitting around, if you're just sitting around waiting for business to come your way, you're going to be waiting for a long time, man. You're going to be sitting around, and you're going to be waiting around, and your business is going to probably build really, really slowly. You need to be taking initiative, being proactive, doing reach outs, intentional reach outs for your business, warm, cold, whatever, anything you could possibly do. But yeah, going back to a couple things, like let's say, I don't know what you meant in the question, but let's say, does cold market prospecting to leads work? Yeah, it does, okay? But with working leads, you need to know kind of what you're getting yourself into. You need to modify your expectations. You need to know how to handle yourself on the phone with these people. You need to know that it's definitely a numbers game with leads, that you're either, even if you're generating them on your own, it's still a numbers game. If you're buying leads from a lead company, it's a numbers game. If you're doing what I teach in my recruiting professionals course, it's definitely a numbers game. So, the thing is, like, you don't, like, if you run out, like, here's the thing, like, I have a guy that I worked with from, where was he from? He's from Ireland. And he didn't know anybody. Like, he moved here to the US from Ireland. He had very few friends. And so his sponsor was like, oh, I only do warm market. And so he came to me to get coached, because his guy was like, we don't do, like, and he even said to him, like, if you do cold market, I'm not going to help you, which is a joke. But so what's this guy going to do? Like, I can't be successful or do this business with you because I don't know anybody? So I gave him and I taught him all these different strategies, and he was able to be successful in that business because he was incorporating all these things that weren't being taught by his upline. I think, again, you need to have a multi-pronged approach towards your building. Cold market, warm market, referral, social media, all of the above. And you need to have strengths in all those areas. Something that I've repeatedly said through training videos over the last several years is you have got to be able to handle yourself in all sorts of different situations, online, offline, social, in person, through the phone, through text messaging, through messaging platforms, whatever it is. But yeah, cold market prospecting certainly does work. And the fact is, pretty much every single one of you watching me right now or listening to me is absolutely going to need to do some type of cold market prospecting now or certainly sometime in the future. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say on it. I mean, yes, it does work, but it works if you do it, and it works if you work on getting good at it. And I think you need to pay attention to what you're doing and what you're saying and how you're saying it. Like, quickly, I'll say this. I had a client of mine that shared with me the type of conversation she was having on LinkedIn. And, you know, I'll give you just kind of a real world scenario. So she was connecting with people on LinkedIn, and she asked the question like, I think the question she was like, so she connected with somebody, hey, how's it going, blah, blah, blah. Hey, what's your 5-year goal? And it was like, the way the question came out, and I wasn't even the prospect. I was like immediately on the defensive. I'm like, who are you? Why do you want to know what my 5-year goal is? I don't even know who you are. Like, wait, it's like, what? So I think how you handle yourself in the cold market is certainly going to dictate how people are going to respond to you. So, like, this is specifically a LinkedIn conversation that was going on. I just kind of redirected her. I said, listen, if you ask me that question, you're just like, I don't know you, but you reached out to me on LinkedIn, and the very next question was, you know, hey, tell me about yourself. You know, what's your 5-year goal? I'm thinking, who are you? What do you want from me? What are you selling to me? Versus perhaps you're prospecting on LinkedIn, you see an article that I posted or something, and you're like, hey, I read your article. It was very thought-provoking. I really enjoyed it, and looking forward to more of your content. And I just want to say you're putting out great stuff, and I've been following you for a little bit. That's like a little start, right? A little start to a conversation. I'm like, oh, cool. I mean, yeah, I like to hear from people that, you know, I'm putting stuff out and they're like commenting on it. That's great. Now, so I know I at least have an awareness of who you are, and maybe like something else comes up and I post something and you like it or you comment on it or something, and then, you know, at one point, if you were to reach out to me and say, hey, I've been following you for a while. I've been reading a bunch of your articles. I see that you're involved in marketing. This might be a wild shot in the dark, but you know, I'm an entrepreneur, and I love working with people that have marketing expertise. Do you keep your options open at all in terms of making money outside of what you're currently doing? That's going to be a more receptive type of cold market experience than what's your 5-year goal. So, you know, just as a single example. But look, yes, cold market prospecting does work, and I think it would be a wise thing for you to refine and work on your skills related to anything outside of your warm market. So I don't know if you're finding me YouTube or podcast, either way, that's cool. Conversations happening at toddfalcone.com/episode 87. So would love to hear from you, seriously. Come on over to the page, toddfalcone.com/episode 87. If you're on the page right now, if you're on my page, I want to hear from you. You got a question? You want me to do a training on something? Put it in the comment section. And I will definitely, that's what I did today. This is a question that came out through a previous post that I did. Anyhow, hope you're having an amazing day. We'll see you on one of the next episodes.